Hi everyone, my name is Luigi and I'm here to show you how to avoid ever having another sinus infection again in your life. I had a chronic sinus infection condition for about 2 years, went through 2 surgeries, and nothing seemed to work until my ears, nose, and throat doctor, shout out to Dr. Jack here in Washington, and a visit to the Johns Hopkins Ears, Nose, and Throat Research Center. They taught me how to do this method of keeping my nose clean and irrigated, and it has kept all of my sinus infections at bay. It's been like a dream come true. But there's some products I'm going to show you first. The first one that you're going to need is this nasal sinus rinse thingy, and they're available at all drugstores. It's not a neti pot, as you'll see. Looks, when you take it out of the box, it looks like this. Okay, it's called Neomed Rinse. Okay, it goes down like that. You're going to squeeze the bottle. Okay, and inside also the box the bottle came in, you'll find these little packets. And what these little packets are for is, if you've ever inhaled or sniffed water up your nose, you've experienced an intense burning sensation. Well, this chemical inside these packets, which I believe is just a pH balancer, like a saline whatever, keeps the water from burning the inside of your nose while you're doing this procedure. Okay, so you use one of these at a time. The next thing you're going to do, the next 2 things I'm going to show you are prescription medicines. This one is called Pulmicort Respules, and the next one I'm going to show you is a topical antibiotic ointment called Myrpicin. But while this product here, the Pulmicort, is actually a brand name medication, this Myrpicin is a generic medication, and its brand name equivalent is called Bactroban. If you're looking for it, or if your doctor's looking to find it, it's called Bactroban. There is a generic for the Pulmicort. You can look it up on the internet or have your doctor look it up. It's significantly cheaper. Your co-pays could be much, much cheaper if you go for the generics. The first prescription that I'm going to show you is the Pulmicort Respules, and when you open this box, what you're going to find is there's about 10 packets that look like this inside the box, okay? And once you open them, you're going to see, actually this is kind of the way, well, that's really the way they are. 5 little plastic vials, and what you do is you pinch one off, like that, and then you're going to open it up. And the way you open it up is you screw off this little plastic top. Just pops right off. And you then just pinch this and squirt it down till there's no more in this down into the bottle. Okay. Now, what is this Pulmicort stuff? Actually, it's the way we're using it in this nasal rinse is what's called off-label. This is not what it says on the box that you use this stuff for. This stuff is actually a very, very mild cortical steroid that is given to help very young children, infants, children, in a nebulizer to control asthma. But it also works, they found out, on the mucous membranes of the nose and throat. So that's the first medication. Then you're going to ask, how the heck am I going to get this ointment down into this bottle in the correct amount? Well, first of all, the correct amount for this Myrpicin, okay, is about 1 to 2 cc's. Now, 1 to 2 cc's, a ribbon of about 1 to 2 cc's. And the way I do it is I use ancient Chinese secret fortune cookie, a chopstick, okay? And I take it and I put a ribbon of about a 1/2 inch on the edge of the chopstick, and then I just stick it down in there. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is next I'm going to add my water. And there's, on the bottle to this, there's actually a fill line. Okay? And that's where I'm going to fill my water to. So I'm going to just get the tap water nice and body temperature warm, so it's not, too hot, too cold. Once I get it there, right up to the fill line. Then I'm going to swivel my little chopstick around to get that ointment off the end of it, and I'm going to kind of chop it up a little bit. The ointment is water soluble, so it's going to dissolve. Okay? It's not going to be a big clump that goes up your nose. Don't worry about it. Okay? The last thing, and this is important, don't forget, add this little packet. Because if you don't, when you send this stuff up through your nose, it'll burn if you don't use this little packet. So now I have all the contents of what I need in my nasal rinse jar, okay? And I'm going to put my finger over the cap, and I'm just going to shake it really, really well, just to make sure all the ingredients get dissolved, okay? Now, if you go into the YouTube or go into this company's website and you watch the other people deliver this medication, they just kind of tip their head and they let it run in one nostril and out the other nostril. But what I found is that because with my sinus infections, a lot of how they ended up was post-nasal drip that dripped down the back of my sinuses and into my throat, frequently giving me a sore throat with a sinus infection, and sometimes even leading into upper respiratory infection. So I need to get all of this medication to all 5 sinus cavities in my head. There are 2 sets of 5 sinus cavities in your head, and I want to try to get as much of this solution in all of them. So what I'm going to do is when I inhale this stuff up through my nose, I'm not going to let it just drip out the other side. I'm actually going to suck it up in to my head and pull it and out down through my sinuses and pull it out of my throat and spit it into the sink. It doesn't sound pretty. It's not terribly uncomfortable once you get used to it, but it does take just a little bit of getting used to. So now I'm going to demonstrate how you're going to dispense this. You're going to squeeze it very easily. Can you see how much? I mean, just a little bit of squeezing pressure and how much that comes up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I've used all of this in the bottle. And I'm going to switch sides now. I know it's not attractive. And it's certainly something that you don't want to have anybody watch. They don't have to. But I wanted to share this with you because it has really eliminated all of my sinus infections. This does go away. Two things to finish up with. How do you clean the bottle, or how do you keep it clean? It's very simple. You just rinse it out again with hot water, just like that. Let it run through the bottle, squeeze it out. Then run some water through the nozzle. Okay. If you're an absolute freak about, you think this is going to get germs in it or whatever, you can run this through the dishwasher. And the reason why it's not unsanitary to do so is because none of this comes back into your none of your nose wash goes back in there. It's always an outward motion, so you don't have, this doesn't get a lot of germs in it. Okay, but I never do that. I just rinse it in the sink. And then this is a cool little device. If you go onto the NeilMed website, this company that has the bottle, and you fill out a little survey online, they'll send you one of these, and it's this thing and has 2 holes in the back. And you can, I put mine inside my linen closet door. So, you know, it's not something really pretty that you want people to have, you know, see in your bathroom. But you just stick this in like this, and by the time you're ready to do it again, the bottle is dry. Some doctors say that you should do this procedure as much as twice a day. I'm just on the routine that I do it once in the morning and get it over with right away, right before I get in the shower, and I only do it twice a day if it feels like if I'm having some seasonal allergy problems where I'm sneezing a lot, I might step it up to once in the morning, and then once before I go to bed at night. The last thing I want to tell you is do carry a tissue with you for about, or a handkerchief for about the next 20 minutes, because what's going to happen is the water that you've put up your nose is going to come back down. Don't worry, it's not going to come down in the middle of a, you'll see. What you'll do is you'll just tip your head down, turn it to the side, turn it to the other side, raise your head slowly, and that'll get the last little remaining bit out. And I usually wait about 20 minutes to do that. You're done. And for what little bit of time it took to do this, that's, you know, the 3 steps of adding the ingredients, to never have another sinus infection, to never lose any more time at work or sick leave because of sinus infections, has been a godsend. And I thank my partner Peter for being the cameraman, and I thank my doctors here in Washington and at Johns Hopkins Medical Center in Baltimore for showing me how to do this, and really, you know, it's been a real quality of life enhancer for me, and I hope it works for you too. Thank you.